Raheem Morris and Antonio Pierce of the Las Vegas Raiders are all 1-2. With Hurricane Helene bearing down on northern Florida, Florida A&M's home game Saturday against Alabama A&M was rescheduled for Friday, November 29th. The Florida A&M campus is in Tallahassee. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money Talk.
Here's what happens when you advertise on KBLA Talk 1580.
3, possibly 4 weeks ago, I heard an advertisement on your radio station from a company called Grid Solar. I would love to have that phone number so I can reach out to them with reference to solar panels being installed on my property.
Our listeners are aware and engaged, but more than that, they are loyal. When they hear empowering messages that uplift their community and help them live better lives, they respond. No medium reaches this coveted black audience like KBLA Talk 1580. So, hit us up today at smb@kbla1580.com and let us help you connect with our loyal listeners. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black under the bud.
You know I love music. And every time I hear something hot, it makes me want to move. It makes me want to have fun. But it's something about this joint right here. This joint right here, it makes me want to... Let it go. Can't let this thing called love get away from you. Feel free right now, go do what you want to do. Can't let nobody take it away from you, from me, from we. No time for moping around, are you kidding? And no time for negative vibes, cause I'm winning. It's been a long week, I put in my hardest. Gonna live my life, feel so good to get it right. So I like what I see when I'm looking at me, when I'm walking past the mirror. Don't stress through the night at a time, and my life ain't worried about if you feel it. Got my head on straight, I got my vibe right, I ain't gonna let you kill it. See, I wouldn't change my life's just fine, 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 fine. Ooh, fine, 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 fine. Ooh, just fine, 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 fine. Ooh, see, I wouldn't change my life's just fine.
If I were in the club and this came on, I'd run to the dance floor. It's a nice track from Mary J. And speaking of dances, I've been looking forward to this conversation. I said to you earlier that this documentary is one of the best docs I've seen in a long time, and I love docs. I'm a doc guy, but this one, as Mary said, this joint right here, this doc right here, it did something to me. I am pleased to be joined by the CEO of Girls for a Change, Angela Patton, for a conversation about this award-winning Netflix documentary called Daughters, which examines the relationship between incarcerated fathers and their daughters. Later in this hour, we'll be joined by the filmmaker Natalie Ray in this conversation, but I've got a good 30 minutes here or so to talk to the sister, Angela Patton, whose organization made all this possible, and I'm just so glad they finally documented what she's been doing for over a decade. They finally documented this in film for all of us to see. So before I jump into the conversation with Angela Patton, again, the CEO of Girls for a Change, here now the trailer for this amazing documentary called Daughters.
Earth take 1 year to circle around sun. He'll keep going. It'll never stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I see my dad. I don't remember nothing about my father. Okay, nothing at all.
These girls just needed a way to invite their fathers into their lives on their own terms.
My daughter was born.
when I was in prison. I had to see her through a glass. Couldn't kiss her, couldn't hold her. My mother was incarcerated, paid 10 years. But it's like, damn, man, my daughter going through the same thing that I've been through.
It's not okay. It's affecting me. I'm just getting older and, like, won't be here to see them memories.
One girl said, my dad can't come to the dance because he's in jail. And one girl suggested, why don't we just take the dance in the jail?
You guys, a golden opportunity to see your daughters and spend time with them. But I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. It's gonna be an emotional roller coaster for you.
I like it. When I get to touch them, it's like nothing else on earth.
How memories are formed for our kids. This is for life.
Love you.
Love you too. I'll always be here for you.
Angela Patton, I want to commence this conversation by telling you, girl, you did an amazing thing here with this documentary and the work that you've done for quite some time now as CEO of Girls for a Change. Ought to be celebrated at the highest levels, and I am humbled to be in dialogue with you for this hour. So thank you for your work and witness. I'm honored to have you on. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm humbled to be with you. Thank you for all you have done in the community to keep us informed. I'm bowing down to you on the other end.
No, you're.
So, yes, thank you for having me.
No, it's my great delight. There are a number of parts, a number of pieces in this documentary that just got me. I will confess up front that I lost it when you were sharing with these brothers behind bars how you were sharing with them the story of your relationship with your father and how your father shined all the shoes for these brothers to wear to the dance that night.
Correct.
That thing hit me, man. I'm like, just you talking about you as a black girl, how much you loved your father, and that it was a family affair, that you got everybody involved to make this dance happen, and indeed your own father shined the shoes that these brothers wore at that dance. That thing hit me, Angela Patton. I ain't gonna lie.
It hits me, too, every time I watch the film, and especially if I'm watching it with my father.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that gratitude just moves through me that, you know, he is 85 now and still can just show up for me. That means everything to me. And I am just really fortunate of his guidance, and every day he sends me a cliche on how to continue to walk through this world. And I'm able to not only, you know, keep that to myself, but share it with the girls that I get to be in the spaces with every day, of how my father is so significant, and making sure that they see black men as significant in their life, even if it's not their biological father. It's important for us to do that hard work around building our communities with all the brothers.
Yeah.
And what is really sets us apart in Girls for Change is that we not only center girls, but we center everyone around them, which includes these amazing black men, starting with their fathers.
We're going to talk about your work at Girls for Change when we come forward. And this documentary, it's going to be a good hour. And I'm encouraging you right now, if you don't do anything this weekend, when you get a little downtime, go to Netflix. Check out this documentary, Daughters. You know I never lie to y'all. I'll never lead you astray. And if I tell you something is good, trust me. I'm putting my name on this thing. You will not be disappointed when you see this documentary called Daughters, streaming right now on Netflix. We'll get this conversation sure enough started with Angela Patton when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
From California to the Carolinas, everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward. Tavis Smiley's new book, The Covenant with Black America, 20 Years Later, is now on sale everywhere. This classic text shot to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list almost 2 decades ago. If you have the original book, you will surely want to get this 20th anniversary edition with powerful new contributions from today's leading voices. This 20th anniversary edition presents a compelling blend of historical insights and contemporary urgency in this critical and unprecedented election year. Get your copy of The Covenant with Black America, 20 Years Later, today.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
You're invited to join KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress for a vice presidential debate watch party featuring Governor Tim Walz versus Senator J.D. Vance, Tuesday, October 1st at 6 p.m., immediately following the debate. Broadcast live here on KBLA Talk 1580. There will be a live panel discussion. Refreshments will be served and seating is limited, so RSVP right away at KBLA1580.com. That's KBLA1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Let's get back to more of this rich dialogue with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Angela Patton, who's CEO of Girls for a Change, and the force, a force of nature, quite frankly, is she. The force behind this new documentary called Daughters, now streaming on Netflix. We'll get to the doc in just a second, but Angela, tell me about your organization, Girls for a Change, how this became your passion. Tell me more about the work you do every day, and we'll work our way into the doc.
Yes, I prepare black girls for the world and the world for black girls. I'm from Richmond, Virginia, and I started this organization on some cupcakes and French fries to make sure black girls had a brave space in my hometown where I am from, because I saw many unmet needs for black girls and really wanted to just stand in that gap and not just talk about it amongst my friends and my loved ones and, colleagues in the community. I see myself as a community activist, but what has allowed me to be able to do this work for 20 years and be able to spotlight girls that way in a film is I co-create with black girls. I've just showed up for them, with making sure, again, that I hear what their needs are and not just tell them what they are. And I've been able to work with girls in my city from 3rd grade to 12th grade, or what I would say as long as it takes. And it's really about really making sure that they are seen, that they are heard, and they are celebrated every day. And I am really honored to just know that I know my purpose and I know my why, and I show up for it, and I'm ready to run the race with them every day.
You said a couple of things now. I want to give you a chance to unpack. Let me go to this first point that you made that just jumped out at me, as I'm sure it did the audience. When I asked you about your work, you said, I prepare these black girls for the world, and I prepare the world for these black girls. Break that down for me. What does it mean to prepare them for the world, but more to the point, to prepare the world for them?
Absolutely. It's a twofold mission that we have at Girls for a Change. I spent a lot of time in the youth development space, and I realized that we were telling a lot and giving them a lot of the work, putting the onus on them. You need to do this, and you need to go to school. You need to do that. Most of it was like just beating their head up against a brick wall. And I said, but how do we show up? And, when people come to me and ask me a lot of times, what's wrong with the girls? Why are they acting like that? And I'm very clear about my answer. It is us, because there are some things we need to do better in how we show up for them. And so in certain programs that we have around social change, workforce development, career readiness, what we always are looking at is what do we need to do? Are we hearing the girls? Do we understand how to prepare them for the future in co-creation with them? And then what are we doing to get in the girls' way? And how do we make sure that we are paying it forward by making sure that they understand what that looks like? Are we culturally, aligned with what Black girls need? Are we making sure that we are in partnership with their parents? So we really are trying to build this village so that these girls can have these tools, but also making sure when I partner with, for an example, a work environment that hires my girls, am I training you on how to really show up for a young Black girl when she comes in with new ideas and she's already equipped and she's already capable? Do you see her? And if you don't, then we need to reevaluate this partnership. Right? And so that's not only me training the girls and giving them something to really think about how to be prepared. I have to prepare this world because I know of the harms that we have done to these young Black women, and they are so ready. But we have to get ready for them now. It's our turn to do the work.
I love the way you have defined and framed this notion of being a co-creator with them, a co-creator. I've offered this indictment for a long time now, which won't surprise you, that when it comes to our precious babies, we talk about them, we talk around them, we talk down to them. We rarely talk with them, much less co-create with them. I'm fascinated by that frame. Tell me more about how you developed this this notion of being a co-creator with these girls, Angela Patton.
Absolutely. Allowing the girls to lead, just asking them what they need. Like you said, we are making sure that we're not talking at them, around them, or about them, that we're having conversations with them, and we're giving them the tools to understand how to be a strong leader. And, that's one of the reasons this program happened, because the girls felt brave and courageous enough to ask for something that they were yearning for. And it really starts with voice, right? It's not me just saying, go out there and figure it out, but really empowering the girls, encouraging them to know that they have voice, and with voice comes their power, and making sure that they become their greatest ambassador. And what does that look like? Different for every girl, depending on where she is. So our role is to meet them where they are, and then we are going to rise to the occasion together. And we're not going to give her away, give up on her, throw her out and say she's not ready. Our door stays open for when that day she actually understands that this is a resource, this is a home, this is a village, and come back and make sure that she takes full advantage of every opportunity, not only that Girls for Change has for her, but that the world has. It is hers. Take it, grab it, go beyond the stars and the clouds and the moon. And we know that every girl can do that with support, advocacy, and also patience. Yeah. And so we practice all of that. Our social-emotional intelligence must be just as intact as we are saying that we want to instill in the children.
It is my view, and I suspect you and I agree on this, given what you said earlier about your 85-year-old father. My view is that each of us is who we are. We are who we are because somebody loved us. We are who we are because somebody loved us. It might not have been your birth mother, your birth father, who knows who it was for you. But we are who we are, Angela, because somebody loved us. I am fascinated by how you found your way into this work, given that so much of what these girls lack, you did not. You have a loving father. Your father is in your life. And so many of these girls that we see featured in this documentary, well, again, we'll get to the doc part and how they got connected with their fathers behind prison bars. That's the sweet spot. I'm headed there. Trust me, believe we're going to get there. but it's this backstory that fascinates me. So I'm curious as to how you got in a lane doing the kind of work to co-create with these girls, help them achieve their dreams, their goals, their aspirations, because there's something missing in their life when you seem to have had what they don't have access to.
Absolutely. I would say I was lucky, but it wasn't a lucky day. When I was on a field trip in Richmond, Virginia with our girls, and we made a stop at a store, and this young girl on the bus saw her father, and she said, "Oh, my God, everyone, that's my dad." And so I said to the girl, "Oh, let's stop the bus, and just go see your dad." And she was like, "No, no, no, I don't talk to him." And she said, "What's going on?" She said, "Because all the groceries that he's walking down the street with now are not to feed me." And I could not, Tavis, fathom that.
Lord.
And it broke my heart, because I know right now if I'm at a light and I see my daddy, I'm going to turn that car around and go hug my daddy, check in on with my daddy. And for her to see him and scream out that it's him, but still doesn't want to touch him, actually broke my heart. And that's when I started to really actively pay attention to relationships that were damaged in my community, and thought that Girls for Change had the opportunity, the resources, the love, and the hard work within our organization to try to strengthen the bonds and try to heal the bonds and try to do better. And so I had to get out of the way about what I thought family looked like and my own privilege, and realize that I had to see what we had in our organization to support girls who were heartbroken. That's how I would never forget that story, and I remember it every day like yesterday. And it wasn't a happy day, but it was something that has allowed us to be game changers within our organization.
This question may sound sophomoric, but it really isn't when you think about it, and I hope that you'll take it seriously. I know you will, and I hope the audience takes it seriously. What have you learned in all these years of working with these girls and helping to reconnect some of them to their fathers? How would you answer the question, what's love got to do with it?
I would say one word: everything. Everything. Because the story that I told, although the girls went into the jail, was not a jail story. It is a love story. So everything.
Yeah. I want to fast forward here, and this is not really a spoiler alert. You can tell by Angela's energy and passion that she doesn't pour herself into this work without expecting to have results. But as I'm watching this documentary, because I love documentaries, I said earlier, I'm a doc guy. I'm assuming that by the time I get to the end of this story, we're going to get to the story in a second here, but I'm assuming as I'm watching this, Angela, by the time I get to the end of this, they're going to give me some graphics on screen at the end that's going to update me on these relationships. What I love about the doc is y'all covered this story over years of these girls' lives. It's not just a snapshot in time. You covered this. It took years to produce this thing, to give us a better sense of how these relationships developed or devolved. And so you'll see that in the documentary. But I'm waiting to get to the end, because I've got questions as I'm watching this. I wonder what happens to them. I wonder what happens to her. I wonder what happens to him. So I'm asking myself these questions as I'm watching it in real time. That's just how my mind works. But when I got to that graphic at the end, the 95% graphic, you know the one I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Lord Jesus, when I saw that 95% graphic that I will let you unpack for this audience, I about fell out of my chair. It did not surprise me, but you see now why I asked that question, what's love got to do with it? So now that I've teed it up, tell the audience about that 95% graphic.
Yes, that graphic is that through our Date with Dad program that was co-created and founded by the girls in our organization, we actually have had 15 Date with Dad programs throughout this time and period, and we realized that we needed to track the studies of these fathers reconnecting with their daughters when they were back into the community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people do the data around, like, do they get jobs or do they, you know, come back to jail? What happens with them? And what we are proud to say is every father that has participated in our Date with Dad dance and program, we had a 95%, recidivism rate of them not returning. And what Sheriff C.T. Whitty, who is the sheriff who gave me permission to do at least 12 of these programs when he was the sheriff at the Richmond Justice Center, and I realized was if the families are connected to each other during their time of incarceration, it is less likely that they will return. And not only return, what Sheriff Whitty also experienced is behavior shifting and also the brotherhood bonding. These are things that I was not able to see, but things he was able to share because, again, what love has to do with it is everything. And they not only started to look at themselves as men who needed to show up, they were holding each other accountable. And so the recidivism rate dropped in our city, because of a program like this. That's why it is important to listen to young people, because adults, we do not have it all, nor do we know.
Yeah.
And so I'm really proud of those numbers.
No, as you ought to be. When I saw that number, like I said, it didn't shock me or surprise me. It just made me weep, and it underscored for me the vital importance of daughters having their daddies involved in their lives. Excuse me. And when you see a stat like that, where we talk all the time about recidivism, and there's not a brother featured in this documentary who had not been to prison repeatedly. They're not a single one of them. They had all been in and out of prison. So the recidivism rate for these guys was off the charts high.
Yeah.
But once they got a chance to see how desperate their daughters were, to spend time with them, so much so that they brought the dance into the prison for the daddies to dance with their daughters, and all the love and all the tears and all the stuff you're going to see in this documentary called Daughters, which is streaming right now on Netflix. When they had that moment, I'm watching this thinking, this moment is going to have to change them. There's no way they can be the same after this event with their daughters at this dance, given what I saw on film. This thing fundamentally has to change these brothers. And when I got to the end and I saw that 95% of the guys who participate in this program with their daughters at this dance, once they get out, they do not return. It's all I needed to see. When we come forward, we'll be joined by the filmmaker on this project called Daughters. Her name is Natalie Ray. She will join Angela Patton and yours truly in this conversation. We're going to take you to the extent we can inside this documentary called Daughters, again, streaming right now on Netflix. You're listening, and I'm glad about it, to Tavis Smiley.
This is getting good.
Yeah, man.
Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know the United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time? Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
I'm I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Hurricane Helene continues to strengthen as it takes aim at Florida's Gulf Coast. Forecasters expect the storm to continue to strengthen as it approaches the state's Big Bend area. The storm will likely make landfall tonight as a major hurricane with possible winds up to 130 miles an hour. Vice President Kamala Harris is set to make her first trip to the southern border since becoming the Democratic nominee for president. Harris will visit Douglas, Arizona on Friday as polling numbers show immigration and border security are weak points in her campaign. 50 Cent has a docuseries heading to Netflix about Sean Diddy Combs' legal issues. The African-American rapper shared a Variety report on social media about the series, captioning it, "You didn't believe me, but I bet you believe me now." And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Blindster is a family-run business that began in 2010, and we've sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters and received over 100,000 five-star reviews. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers bounced back against the San Diego Padres. They held on for a 4-3 win, 2 RBIs for Shohei Ohtani. The Dodgers can clinch their 4th straight NL West Division title tonight with a win over the Padres. Week 4 of the NFL regular season kicks off tonight with the Dallas Cowboys at the New York Giants. The NFL's 6 black head coaches are a combined 10-8. That's good for a 55% winning percentage. Pittsburgh's Mike Tomlin is the only one of the black head coaches still undefeated. The Steelers are 3-0. Houston's D'Amico Ryan and Tampa Bay's Todd Bowles are 2-1. New England's Gerard Mayo, Atlanta's Raheem Morris, and Antonio Pierce of the Las Vegas Raiders are all 1-2. With Hurricane Helene bearing down on northern Florida, Florida A&M's home game Saturday against Alabama A&M was rescheduled for Friday, November 29th. The Florida A&M campus is in Tallahassee. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We must understand the politics of our community, and we must know what part politics play in our lives.
Questions about black voters, their disengagement, lack of information, and support or lack thereof for Democratic candidates have once again taken center stage as Democrats, Republicans, and independent candidates compete for this critical voting bloc. Will black voters abandon Democrats in this election, move historic numbers of votes toward the Republican nominee, or will they continue a decades-long trend of overperforming for Democratic candidates up and down the ballot? The stakes have never been higher for black America. Tune in to KBLA's new show, The Black Pack, hosted by veteran political strategist Adrian Shropshire, every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. for a breakdown of the issues, rhetoric, polling, and more this election year. It's The Black Pack with Adrian Shropshire, Fridays from 4 to 6 p.m. exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Point!
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace!
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments.
Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
You are indeed, and I'm glad about it. We continue our dialogue with the CEO of Girls for a Change, Angela Patton, talking about this amazing documentary called Daughters, now streaming on Netflix, and I am pleased to welcome into this conversation her co-director on this project, Natalie Ray. Natalie, how are you today?
Hey, I'm great, thank you. How are you?
If I complained, I'd be an ingrate. I'm hanging out with Angela Patton, so you know I'm doing well.
I know.
Yeah, I'm doing
awesome.
well. Let me.
Good day.
It is a good day.
Morning.
It is a good day. Let me just ask Angela one other question, and then I want to go to Natalie and talk about the lens through which she sees this project, both literally and figuratively. Angela, we ran past this. You mentioned it, but I want to just give you a chance to unpack it a bit more, because I said to myself again watching this documentary that I am grateful to whomever inside the prison system understood what Angela was attempting to do and gave her permission to make this happen. Because I can imagine a whole lot of wardens or whatever they're called would not allow something like this to happen in their particular facility. Tell me more about the person or persons who gave you permission, who partnered with you to allow you to do this inside of a prison.
Absolutely. I would just pay homage and full of gratitude for former Sheriff C.T. Whitty from Richmond, Virginia. Mm-hmm. He was, at that time, the sheriff of the Richmond Justice Center in Richmond, Virginia. I'm going to say that again. And I'm still an amazing partner on this project and many more that I do in the city. And actually, we became partners because the girls in our organization had a father-daughter dance in the community. And when they decided to have another one that was purposefully done to celebrate Black fathers and to shift the narrative about fathers not showing up in their lives, even their father figures, we discovered that one of the girls unfortunately couldn't attend because her father was incarcerated. And these young, unstoppable, with this amazing imagination, I would say, girls decided that they were not going to have it. And they wanted to come up with a creative way for their friend, their sister, that sisterhood, to have the same experience. And they came up with all kind of things that, the father's going to get out. We're going to get him out for the day, all these things. And then they decided that they will write a letter to the sheriff and ask if they can have a dance of their own for girls whose fathers could not participate in the community dance. And Sheriff Woody invited these girls to a meeting. You see what I'm saying, Tavis, about co-creating? And he invited them to a meeting, right? And and they all came after school, and he had a conversation, and he listened, and he said no one has ever asked him for something like that. Out of all the amazing programs, he said, this one is a game changer, girls. I can't say no to you. What are we going to do? And that's when he rallied the most amazing team and said, we have to make this happen. And all hands down to them, they were all sold on the idea. And we actually had over 10 during his time of service to our city, of these dances that were connecting fathers and their daughters. And again, more than a dance. You have to watch the film to understand it's more than a dance. But it's a rare, special occasion. But we did the hard work to get there. And I'm just always so grateful for him listening actively and showing up with purpose.
No, he deserves a shout out. That's why I want to make sure you got one on this program, because that brother deserves a shout out for that. So Natalie, let me come to you. I'm just watching my time here. I was trying to find the right word here. I was pleased at the editorial decision, the directorial decision that you and Angela made, Natalie, to treat the film in this way. And here's what I mean. When you see this documentary, Daughters, again, streaming right now on Netflix, you're going to see the backstory, of course, that builds up to the daddy-daughter dance. We build up to this thing. And I love the way that Natalie and Angela went at this, because they show you all the preparation, all the expectation, all the hopefulness that these girls have, because they know that on this particular day, they're going to get in a bus. After they get all dressed up, they're going to go to a prison, and they're going to have a dance. They're going to see their father and spend 6 or 7 hours with their father. So the film is shot in a way where you see the story of these girls prepping and preparing for this evening with their fathers who are incarcerated. But brilliantly, they also show you the other side, which is what the fathers are going through, getting ready for this moment with their daughters. You heard some of that if you were listening at the top of the hour. When we played the trailer for the Daughters doc, you hear some of that in the trailer. But I say all that to ask, Natalie, tell me about that decision to show the teaching and the training and the prep and the hopes and the fears and the expectation that we saw the fathers going through, knowing that on this particular day, their babies were coming into this prison for a dance with them. Tell me about the other side.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that we wanted the film to feel very present and to be just really alongside the daughters and the fathers as they went through this transformative experience. So to do that the most authentically, it was just to be with them, create space for them to talk, be nervous, like be very honest or even unsure about, proceeding with going through with the dance. It was amazing that the DC jail gave us permission to sit and be there in the room with Chad and the fatherhood circles. So instead of just following the girls, we were actually able to really intimately capture the father's journey as well. And, being in those rooms and hearing the progression and all the things that was shared was so beautiful and overwhelming. I didn't know going into it what to expect with the father's side. And so that was truly eye-opening and really special to see Chad just sit in such a grounded way and have so much being shared and prep, like going into their own fatherhood wounds, their own family stories, how they connect together, how they connect as children, how they can connect deeper with their daughters with this connection as children, So it just was, I think, it's instrumental to understand the deep process that both the daughters and the fathers are going through to make the dance as impactful as it can be.
When we come forward, I want to ask Natalie to tell me a bit more about Chad. You will see that Chad is one of the stars of the film. He is the brother moderator, as I would call him, the interlocutor, who's doing the teaching and the training and helping these incarcerated men get ready for this evening with their daughters. He put a lot of work into prepping these guys for this experience. And so that's a very powerful narrative, a very powerful theme, I should say, in this Daughters Project, watching these brothers get prepared for this moment with their daughters. And Chad is telling them it's going to be a great night, but he's also warning them, when this night is over, it's a roller coaster. You're going to be so excited when your babies come in here, many of whom you've not seen since they were born, some of you haven't seen for years. But when the euphoria wears off the next day and those girls leave to go home and the prison door again closes behind you, clank, clank, and they're not there the next day, how do you deal with that part? And this brother Chad did an amazing job of working these brothers through this whole process. We're talking about that when we come forward with Angela Patton and Natalie Ray. They are the co-directors of Daughters, now streaming on Netflix.
Generous listening. Charitable listening. It's why everybody wants to talk to Tavis. The conversation continues when we come forward.
So you may have heard of Project 2025, a plan crafted by Trump and his MAGA loyalists to give Trump virtually unchecked political power and take Black America backwards. Here's how. Project 2025 strips away our voting rights protections, and it eliminates the Department of Education. It would siphon public school funding to private schools, leaving our kids behind. Planning on going to college? Good luck paying for it. Project 2025 cuts funding for federal student loans. Trump's Project 2025 would also make states monitor women's pregnancies, and it bans abortion. Project 2025 would also gut Obamacare, ripping away health care from millions. Simply put, Trump's Project 2025 would be devastating to Black America. But we can stop it by voting for Kamala Harris for president, because we are not going back.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for president.
What make you? Yeah.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, Black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley, Angela Patton, and Natalie Ray, co-directors of Daughters, now streaming on Netflix about this relationship. This examination of a relationship between these incarcerated fathers and their precious babies. My time is getting tight on me. It's getting away. Natalie, let me ask you right quick. What was it like sitting inside this prison and watching Chad in these fatherhood circles do his thing so brilliantly?
I felt so inspired by Chad. First sessions, he was like, hey, guys, I'm a father like you guys. You know, I'm not here. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a psychologist. I'm really just here to have a conversation. So he just really opens it up in such a eye to eye. Everyone's on the same page, on the same level, and takes the time and really lets the fathers lead the conversation. So I think there's just an approach and an energy that he has that's really special. And for me, just getting to know the fathers over the course of that time, it was, there was a lot of weight in that because I was getting to know the girls as well, and they would ask me questions, and I would be like, Aubrey lost her teeth, or I saw Santana riding her bike, and they'd be like, wait, what? She lost her tooth, or she was riding her bike? So it was beautiful and also sad when I had to realize firsthand how little they were able to experience with their girls and the messenger of that information and how important that was in this process.
There's a piece in this this Daughters Project, Angela, that just was arresting for me. I know something of this because I've done a couple of documentaries about a related subject in my career, but just it was painful to see one of the mothers. I'm going to talk about the mothers in a second here. Painful to watch one of the mothers explain what they have to go through and what the costs are. Yeah. To communicate with their the fathers of their babies when they're incarcerated. You know the scene I'm talking about where she's just explaining the drama of just communicating. So to Natalie's point, it isn't so easy for these daughters to communicate with their fathers when they're on lockdown.
Exactly. Absolutely. And that's the reason why it was important. What we realize is the doc tells you what it needs. And as Natalie, was filming with the crew as well, and coming back and sharing, outside of what was happening with the mothers was important for us to understand that also is part of what the girls have to deal with too. And that's the reason why children usually become the silent, I don't like that word, but they will say it in studies, like the victim, the silent person around incarceration, because we know that it affects the family's household around, their financials. We know the barriers that it happens when a parent has to raise the child alone. We understand that the father is not, or mother, whomever is incarcerated, is not there for those milestone moments like losing teeth, graduation. But we really never have a chance to hear from the children. And so as you could see, is that they become more disconnected, not only because they're not, really feeling this phone conversation that happens. It's about the time that it happens. What the mother has to do or the father has to do to put money on it, and it can be very cost heavy on the family. And so it's just not the best model or resource to do when we know that it's more harmful than it is helpful. So the dance allows a, rare and, visit so that we can continue to keep the connection that young people need. Because the phone, 15 minutes or less is not working for the family.
When we come forward in our remaining moments with Angela Patton and Natalie Ray, I want to come back to these mothers one more again, as we say, because I was struck watching this, struck by the ways in which the mothers went along with this. I don't want to use the word acquiesced, but we hear stories all the time about mothers who are sick of their baby daddies, and we all know that narrative. I don't want him around. He ain't never showed up. And you know what I'm talking about. But the mothers who are featured in this are part of the story as well. It's called Daughters. But they live with their mothers. Their fathers are on lockdown, and the mother might not have had such a great relationship with the baby daddy, with the father, and yet they pulled this thing off beautifully. We'll talk about that in our remaining moments when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Why does Tavis say when we come forward? Because he's not going back. And you don't have to go back either. Forward ever, backward never. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go.
The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
You are indeed for 2 more minutes. Just 2 minutes left in this conversation, which I've enjoyed immensely. Natalie, tell me right quick about the role that the mothers play in this doc, because they star in this quite nicely as well.
Absolutely. So they are such a big part of the whole process. I mean, it's about the whole family unit, and as Angela says, the family is the root to community healing. So although the film focuses on the father-daughter relationship, the moms are a huge part of this. So we show really specific moments with each mom and their connection to their daughter. And also, you know, one of the moms that Angela did have to work with, who was less comfortable with the idea of going to the dance, and kind of shows how some of the moms need more talking about the program and what the dance would, you know, look and feel like, and trusting that the daughter can make that decision, and opening back up to letting her go through her own journey with the father. So all of the moms, you know, have a different experience, and it's just important with the film that we want to show as many different family dynamics as possible, because no one is the same.
I've got 60 seconds left, Angela Patton. I will give it to you. What do you hope the takeaways, I say that plural because there's so many I took away from this. What do you hope folk are going to see when they see Daughters now streaming on Netflix?
I think that people should see that we have more to do, that this is not over. I believe people are going to start with themselves and then really think about how we can pour love into our community, because that's what it has to do with. It's a love story, not a jail story, and we just want everyone to really think about how we can be sure that we show up for the children in the way where they can understand the meaning of love too.
Natalie Ray, thank you for a fine piece of work that you should be pleased to put your name on. Thank you for the work, and thank you for the conversation, Natalie. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having us. Beautiful chat.
It's my great honor. And Angela Patton, let me close by telling thank you, Angela, for all your work and witness down through the years. And do me one small favor. Will you please give your precious 85-year-old father my warmest regards?
Oh, he is going to be thrilled to hear that it comes from you, Brother Tavis. Absolutely, I will.
You are too kind. I love you and your whole family and all the work that you have done and will continue to do. Thank you both for your time. It's called Daughters. It's streaming right now on Netflix. Just like that, 3 hours gone. Tomorrow's Friday, so tomorrow the best of Tavis Smiley on these stations across America. Thank you for tuning in today and every day this week. Until tomorrow, and as always, keep the faith.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Hurricane Helene continues to strengthen as it takes aim at Florida's Gulf Coast. Forecasters expect the storm to continue to strengthen